Hey everyone, Consecutive here, and welcome back to episode 3 of my Road to AOTC challenge, the show where I take a freshly leveled character and without any outside help, I attempt to get my AOTC achievement by only raiding with pugs. Today we'll be going over Sludgefist, the Stone Legion Generals, and Sire Denathrius. The fights are starting to ramp up in terms of mechanics and damage output, so playing smart is more important now than ever. As you'll see in two of these encounters, either myself or the main tank dies, but we still manage to prevent any wipes, so that's always a win in anyone's book. As I stated in my previous episodes, I will be doing only voiceover this time around as I had the wrong audio settings set up for this run, but I will be commentating as I play the game in future normal and heroic raid episodes. With that being said, let's hop right into it. So up next we have Sludgefist, and this boss seemed fairly straightforward when I was reading my adventure guide. He didn't seem like he had too many mechanics to worry about. I immediately see my co-tank's health drop to 10%, and remember I need to stand next to him. Use the brain cell God gave me there. Split that damage, otherwise he gets hit twice per auto attack. Run out of the roar, and then the AoE drops on the ground there, those swirlies. I'm not quite sure how the game decides where those go. It didn't look like anybody was standing in the one that's towards, the center of the screen there. The one on the left, there was a few people there, but I don't think there was anybody in this one here. So I'm not sure how those decide where they're going to fall. It could just be random. Maybe we need to stack DPS or healers somewhere. Out of the AoE again, tank gets hit by that. And then Hateful Gaze on me is the charge, so I know I need to run behind the pillar. I should probably distance myself from the pillar in the future so I don't take that damage, but maybe it's unavoidable. Whenever he gets stunned, I do know he takes increased damage. He sort of CCs himself when he hits that pillar. But every pillar that's destroyed does put, I think, a stacking dot on the entire raid. So it does seem to be maybe a DPS race here. I'm not sure. I don't know in the higher level raids if you want all the pillars to be destroyed. It could put a lot of stress on the healers. So, and then we're just kind of rinse and repeating here, just running out of the stampeding roar there, or the stomp rather, and then his roar comes out afterwards and knocks people away. I think there's a mechanic where I think that AoE stomp will actually break pillars, which is of course an issue because you only have so many to hide behind for his charges, so you don't want that stomp there. You don't want him to be too close to a pillar and then he, breaks one of the pillars that you're supposed to hide behind for his charge. So I think that'll be something I have to pay attention to. I figure, don't stand in front of the charge even though he's not targeting me. I don't want to get hit by that. I think it does lethal damage, just like over 100k on LFR, so I'm sure it's even worse. 100k damage is going to kill anybody at this point in the game. Roar comes back out, knocks people away. That's probably going to be an issue at higher difficulties where the tanks need to make sure they're not being knocked towards pillars, because he may chain that, knock you towards a pillar, run up to you towards that pillar, and then chain his stomp. And then, there goes one of your defensive pillars. So I think tanks have to be a little bit aware in that sense. I think this is just kind of rinse and repeat though. It was fairly straightforward. I ended up tanking the boss here for a considerable amount of time, and I never really noticed how much damage I was actually taking. These healers are doing the Lord's work here, keeping me alive, taking a ton of damage, and I probably should have gave meta at some point. I don't think I actually do in this fight, which is a huge mistake. But I will be swapping to the Sinful Brand build, so I'll be have a lot of uptime on my defensives there. Let's see, charges into that pillar, and I think this is the last pillar, and we take him down finally. So pretty straightforward here. I think it could be very much a DPS race, and I think this is another mechanic with people being linked together on normal and heroic difficulty. So I'll just make it, yeah, right there. Oh my goodness, I should have popped meta. Shame on me. But yeah, will be another mechanic that requires a little bit of finesse on the DPS and healers part with those chain links. Just more pressure on them, unfortunately. I prefer the pressure to be on myself. That's why I like to tank. I like to have the important job. I like for the pressure to be on me because I know I can handle it and I know I can learn from my mistakes. So the less pressure, the more I can alleviate on my teammates, the better as far as I'm concerned. but we go ahead and do we down him here just to get another stomp off? Yeah, he gets another stomp off. So I just run away. It looked like we could have finished him, but you know, better safe than sorry. And I think the mage actually calls us out here on it. Yeah, wow. Yeah, the mage said wow, and then if y'all didn't run, then I think he says could have finished him off, but killed him. I don't think you should ever get mad at a pug LFR group for doing the mechanics. Um, but that's just my opinion, you know. It's a little bit strange that he'd get mad. You know, usually you get mad at your pug group for not doing the mechanics, and here he is getting mad that we all did the mechanic properly. And yeah, he's right. If we had all stayed, we could have finished him, but I abide by the slowest safe, safest fast rule. So just do the mechanics, be smart, and you'll get through it. So Stone Legion Generals was very complicated. There was a lot going on. I knew I was in for a wild ride whenever the LFR group had a raid lead given instructions before the poll, and there were raid markers on the ground. So I wasn't 100%, well, I wasn't even 60% sure on the mechanics. I know I had to taunt off the debuffs that General Call and the General Grashal would put on. So I was just going to try and do that. The raid lead did say let 3 stacks of Call go off and then taunt swap, and then for the other one, the Stone Fist, to only let 1 stack and then taunt swap. The problem with this fight for me was I could not see the debuffs on either my grid or LVY tank frame, so I didn't know how many stacks my tank had. And then I think at one point I even physically left click and like select my tank buddy here just to see how many stacks he had, and I wasn't seeing any debuffs up on the middle-ish right of my screen. Yeah, right here I clicked on him to see, and I couldn't see any. Let me see if I can pause it there. Maybe I just didn't see it in the moment. Okay, so right there. Okay, yeah, that's his Iron Fur buff. So yeah, I highlighted my code tank because, like, man, I keep seeing this laceration come out, and I'm not seeing the debuff on it on my frames. So I highlight him, and I still don't see his debuffs. So I knew that was going to be an issue moving forward. But at 50%, he hardens, and an ad comes in. So I don't think I even noticed the ad fly in because I was just so busy trying to figure out this tank mechanic. And then someone calls that there's an ad, so I go ahead and taunt him. And I figure I just keep him in the middle. I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to be doing with him, but just take damage, don't die, you know, general gist of my role. Let's see. Let's jump ahead 30 seconds. Anima orbs come out. They need to be run to Prince Renethal so he can knock General Call off the field and get that buff he's got where he takes 95% reduced damage. I'm not aware of this in the moment, and so I think I actually get hit by Prince Renethal's blast here. General Gashal comes in, so I just try and taunt him and focus him down. I just get wasted right there. So don't need to do that in the future. I have the first aggro on Grishal here. So I know, again, the raid league calls for swap after 1 fist. You can kind of see here. And I did remember that, but I was always also glad that I wasn't the one that had to do the taunting since my debuffs didn't seem to be working. So there's 1 fist on me. Other tank immediately taunts it off, so he knows what he's doing. That leap, I'm not sure where we're supposed to run those leaps. I assume run them to the edge of the room, so don't drop it on the raid like that guy did. Raid league calls for eruption in moons, so maybe that's what the eruption is. I think it's not even called eruption in the adventure guide. It's called reverberating leap or something like that. But it also maybe the raid league's talking about a different mechanic. So there's reverberating leap again. And he leaps it over there, drops it on a few different people, but I mean, the majority of the raid was over near the boss, so that was probably fine. Crystallize comes out, so the Crystallize mechanic, I now know, cleanses the permanent debuff, so I actually had this debuff the whole time until, spoiler alert, I die. Stone Fist comes out, it's on me, that's fine. Other tank taunts off, and he should be in his, yeah, there's the ad. I was going to say, he's at 50%. Ad should be coming in. So orbs need to be run to Prince Renathal, I believe. Yeah, raid lead calls for it. Now I need to taunt Grishal now because the Stonefist debuff is on my co-tank. So I go ahead and taunt him, but I still have my debuff for 10 more seconds. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't come out on me. Or he doesn't cast another Stonefist soon. This is where I die, and you can actually see me. You can't see it because of the way the recording ended up working out, but I actually was spamming my meta right as I died, so I just wasn't fast enough on it. So it's my fault, but I do get the B-Res coming out, which ironically enough, cleanses my, was it the lacerating slash I had on me the entire fight? So, big brain strats. Not really, just me being an idiot. Um, get the ad down, another Stonefist comes out. I leap back, of course, because I don't want my DPS to have to run through all that to get to the boss if I were to pull him the other way. I think we're just waiting on the anima to Prince Renathal here. Because he's been at, 95% reduced damage taken for quite a while. Okay, we finally get it done. Blast comes out, I get hit again, of course, naturally. So I grab General Call. I've got the Stone Fist on me, debuff on me still. This poor guy's got 7 crystallized stacks on him. Or no, 7, was it the serrated swipe stacks, but at this point we want to kill him at the same time, as far as I know. I taunt Grishal. I'm hoping he grabs Call off me since I'm taking both at the moment. He didn't notice, I don't think, or realize he should taunt the other guy off me, so he ends up taunting the same dude off. And I take another serrated swipe stack there. Just kind of a mess at this point. Just really, we're in the phase of just survive. Lust has been popped. It's LFR chaos. Trying to keep the bosses stacked together. Raid League keeps yelling at it. There's 11 stacks on Karana. Oh my goodness. He taunts the serrated swipe, so I go ahead and taunt the Stone Fists. Does it hit me? No, it hits the other guy still, so I was slow on that taunt. That was my fault. Other tank gets hit pretty hard there, but we have it now. Raid League keeps calling for tanks to keep them closer to cleave. I mean, they've been within 5 yards of each other for the last minute, so I don't know what he's complaining about. I don't know how much more stacked you can get him, but so he taunts Grishal, so I just go ahead and taunt Call, and I think we go ahead and cleave him down here. Really good raid leading. The guy definitely knew his stuff, it seemed. We were just, derping, because I'd never been in there, and it's LFR. But shout out to the healers again. Really good job keeping us alive. And last but certainly not least, we have Sire Denathrius. This fight, I just accepted the fact I would have no idea what's happening. Opened my adventure guide, saw a giant paragraph of text, realized I didn't stand a chance. Just gonna YOLO it and just kind of figure it out as I went. I think this was probably my worst performance of all the bosses I did. Maybe just fatigue. I think I knocked out all of these bosses in one setting for one sitting, so maybe I was just tired. I'm not sure which, but I see this debuff comes up on me. I've got 4 of them. Briefly hovered my mouse over it and wasn't sure how to get it off, but I think I noticed that it didn't have a timer on it. In retrospect, it's in this phase where I need to make sure I'm being cleaved by Denathrius's frontal cone to take off 1 stack, and otherwise, in the intermission phase, when he drops us down, it's a 1 shot on me. If you have any of those stacks, so that takes 1 stack off. I don't know if I noticed. I hover my mouse over it again. I don't know in the moment if I noticed that it took a stack off or not. If I did, then that's pretty clutch. But I really don't think I'm that intelligent. I don't think I figured that out. So I just keep tanking him. I was kind of confused because it didn't seem like there's anything that I needed to. I stand in front again though to take the second debuff off, so maybe I did notice. That's the problem with not having it recording my thoughts in the moment, is I don't really remember. So maybe I did notice. But anyways, killing ads. I don't know if I picked up on being hit by his frontal cleave spawns the ads either, but I figure, don't stand in this. I don't know why I didn't leap out here. again, I said this was my poorest performance for a reason. I think that was the second time in a row I've been hit by that ground cover. I didn't leap out of it, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But this, I still have two stacks on me. It's LFR, so it doesn't kill you. It actually cleanses you when it drops you down. Um, in retrospect, I know this because I kind of compared the difficulties and on my adventure guide, and it said it would kill you in LFR on the adventure guide, but it doesn't here. And I had two stacks on me, so I think in LFR, it really isn't very punishing. That actually helps you out by taking the debuffs off. You'd think if anything, it would leave the debuffs on, and it just wouldn't kill you, but that's the way it is. I pick up Remoria here, or Remornia. Don't know what's going on with this ad, why people aren't killing it. I believe it shares health with Sire, so it's people just focus Sire, maybe. Um, but yeah, in the moment, I just picked up the ad and dragged him over to Sire to kind of help stack it. I've got 6 stacks of Carnage on me, which isn't great, but more importantly, the main tank has now 2 stacks of the, I think, Racking Pain from Sire to Nathria, so I need to be taunting off the Racking Pain. I leap away from this AoE and go, where the heck did my raid go? So I kind of start running back to where the boss was, and I realize, okay, that mirror must have been a teleport to the other side. So, you know, lesson learned there, I think. I think I figured that out, where you just go through the portal to get to the other side of the room there instead of actually using gap closures to get away. I don't know if I ever taught Sire, to be honest. The Racking Pain comes out again. That's oh, I did taunt him. Sweet. Okay, I did my job. I think the Paladin actually. I don't even know if I taunted him. Actually, I think the Paladin just died. Yeah, the Paladin died. So he had 3 stacks, and the poor guy didn't. To his credit, he didn't. No one yelled at me. No one said anything. Uh, but that's how I got aggro here. Is I didn't actually taunt him. The main tank just died because I'm being an idiot. Yep. Okay, so I go through the portal this time. I pick up the ad here. Main tank taunt Sire. And I don't think I ever figured out this Racking Pain. I briefly read it once my mouse hovered over there, as you saw, but I don't think it registered at the time. There was so much happening on my screen. Just trying not to stand in bad and to control. Like, the sword is leaping away from me. Don't know what's happening there. Got these lines coming out. So, unfortunately, I think I performed fairly poorly here. But I go ahead and leap through there, I think. Yeah. I think I popped meta here because I almost died. And do I ever taunt him? Did I taunt him there? Nope. Great job, Cameron. Fantastic. So tank's got 3 stacks on him again, which I don't notice in the moment. And stage 3 hits. So fortunately for us, that phase is over because that was an absolute mess from the tanking perspective. Scorn comes out. It's auto attack debuff, flies per auto attack. Probably should be taunted off every so often, every so many stacks. I don't do that. I don't know that in the time. I see these ads that are on the platform, and I just kind of ignore them. They looked like they're stationary, and they just needed to be killed by DPS. Shattering Pain comes out, and AoE drops. I believe he has a cleave that puts bad on the ground at some point. Ooh, big damage. Got 9 stacks of scorn on me. Other tank taunts him off. Probably positions him for the bad on the ground. I don't remember what that's called. Maybe it's not Hand of Destruction. That's the AoE that comes out, right? Just run away from hand. But you can probably jump forward here a little bit. Keeps telling me to taunt. Reflection Ravage comes out. Oh, here we go. Run away from that. That's probably got to be managed with some finesse. I actually didn't even see what the ability was called. Threw that out there, which is something I'll have to read about later. Yeah, I don't think I saw it. I don't think DBM even said anything about it, so I'm not sure. I don't know what the condition is for that AoE cleave to come out on the ground to put that debuff out there. I think he gets one more off before he dies, but maybe not. So it's the Reflection Massacre comes out, but I thought that was the lines on the ground. Shattering Pain on top of it, so that's the knockback, so I should have been positioned a little bit better. Yeah, I guess that was it. So I have to read and see what puts that debuff on the ground, because I'm not 100% sure what that was. But yeah, pretty poor performance for me overall. Getting carried by my healers and the main tank most of the time throughout that fight. So good on them. And that was it for Siren and Nathria. That will be all for this episode. If you'd like to see or hear anything else in addition to what I'm doing, feel free to leave a comment down below, as this series is for anyone who's looking to get into the raiding scene, so I really don't mind adding in some extra stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and here's my obligatory thumbs up the video if you liked it, or thumbs it down if you didn't, but please leave me some feedback in the comments on what you'd like to see improved upon in the future, and I'll catch you all next time.